First of all, I greeting to all these brave women of Ashraf. Thank you for your incredible testimony, and thank you for your warm welcome. Thank you. March 2013 was the first time I met Madame Rajavi and the PMOI people. I remember that it was in Paris on the occasion of Women's Day, like today. 1 month before, Camp Liberty has been attacked by Iraqi forces. It wasn't the first time, and unfortunately, neither was it the last time. But when I came to Paris, I barely knew anything about the Iranian opposition and know much more about the movement of Iranian resistance and their brave leader, Madame Rajavi. Regarding Madame Rajavi, I must admit that I felt really surprised about her leadership. A woman in an Islamic country, but I understood very soon that this female leadership was one of the most important differences between this and another kind of opposition movement in the Middle East. In any case, the person I met in Paris in March 2013 was a strong woman, a leader able to maintain the hope, the aims, and the courage of her people on this long, painful, and hard road to freedom. Anyway, there in Paris, my relationship and my engagement with Madame Rajavi and with the democratic Iranian opposition started. Since that day, I have worked for their safety and always support through the difficult days. I have worried about them in the attacks, and I have mobilized my efforts as soon as I heard about their situation and difficulties, and I have joined this movement with my other colleagues. This engagement has firmly continued for these 4 years throughout my time in the Spanish Senate and now as a human rights activist and especially as a friend. But during these years, many things have happened. As I said, the attack on February the 9th wasn't the last, and moreover, the situation of the refugees in Camp Liberty was getting worse and worse, as you know. For this reason, in this time, with other members of the Spanish Parliament and the Senate, we have denounced the attacks against Camp Liberty, and we have requested an independent international investigation about these attacks. We ask for the refugees in Camp Liberty to be sent back to Camp Ashraf, their home of 26 years. We ask as well for a permanent blue helmet team at Camp Liberty, and if the international community could not protect the refugees in Camp Liberty, we request that they be given the opportunity to leave the camp and be given asylum in democratic countries. I especially remember the massacre in Camp Ashraf, in which 52 defenseless people were killed in a brutal attack in which Iraqi forces abducted 7 members of the camp, 6 women and a man. We denounced this atrocity in Geneva, and we felt the deep pain of the relatives of the dead. How can we forget Madame Bolucci and the woman on hunger strike? In that moment, we are all the 7 hostages, and it was not only a hashtag and a Twitter. But in the meantime, the so-called moderate Rouhani had come to power in Iran, and the international community was hopeful. Only 1 year after, the moderate Rouhani had executed 700 prisoners, Gholamreza Khosravi, one of them. We report this fact to the European Union High Representative Federica Mogherini, but it was useless. The agreement with the Iranian regime has been made. Meanwhile, the war in Iraq had started, and since that moment, the situation of the refugees in Camp Liberty, as you know, was much more untenable in the crossfire between Daesh and the Iraqi government. In this moment, we ask again for the refugees who leave the camp and be given asylum in democratic countries. Now, despite the suffering and despite the difficulties, their departure from Iraq became a reality. Thanks to all these people who made it possible. All my gratitude to Albanian people. As for me, believe me, I will continue to stand by you until Iran is freed. Thank you.